What's up, everybody? Welcome to Robin's Nest. In today's video, we're going to be discussing what a rug pull is and how to detect a rug pull. So this is going to be super useful to you guys who are new to DEXs and still learning about them. Rug pulls are a very common scam that you'll want to avoid, so we're going to talk about how to avoid them in this video. Before we get into that, guys, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. On this channel, we discuss everything crypto. We're going to be going into all sorts of things, and so if you're breaking into your crypto journey and starting that crypto journey, definitely hit those buttons so you can follow along, because again, there's going to be a lot of educational stuff, which a lot of it lately has been educational. We've been going over a lot of how-tos, and what I'm trying to do is build a solid foundation. That way we can move from the how-tos into more investment-sided stuff, talking about teams and things like that. But I need to give people a base to start at. That way, if I say something that they don't necessarily understand, they can go and refer back to a video I've made and learn about it. So that's what I'm trying to do now, is build that foundation. And then after this, like I said, we're going to get into more about different teams and things like that. So I know for a lot of you, that's sort of the exciting stuff. How-tos might not be as exciting, but again, I hope for the newcomers that this is very helpful to you. That's the goal of these videos. So anyhow, guys, we're going to go ahead and jump into the subject. Now, for those of you who are breaking off of exchanges and getting into your own private wallets, you're going to be using decentralized exchanges a lot, and I just put out a video explaining what a decentralized exchange is, or a DEX. So Uniswap, SushiSwap, those are your two most popular DEXs. And a common scam on those DEXs is a rug pull. Now, what a rug pull is a team will come out with a token, and it's usually just brand new token, and they try to drive a lot of hype around it, so that people start swapping into the token. And what the team will do is that they'll hold, we'll say, like 99% of the supply of that token. So they'll only release like 1% of the supply. They'll keep 99%, and they'll provide liquidity for that token. So if you guys didn't know, when you go to provide liquidity for a token, you have to do equal parts. Okay, so if you're trying to start a pool between Ethereum and the rug token, what would happen is you got to provide 50% Ethereum, 50% rug token. So they have to match in dollar values. So or the ETH denominated value, so those have to match. So what happens is these teams, they take that the liquidity, they provide it so that people can trade between the tokens. And when you make a swap on a decentralized exchange and you go from Ethereum into rug token, and this is how any token works, but when you go from one token to the other, the token that you provided to trade for is added to that pool, and you receive the token from that you're wanting to get, right? So you're pulling money out of the other pool. So if you're trading Ethereum for Aave, when you swap your Ethereum for Aave, what happens is you're adding to the Ethereum pool and you're taking away from the Aave pool. And so what happens is these pools unbalance. And so over time, the liquidity providers will have to rebalance the pools so that way there's an equal parts on each side. But if you're looking at something like a rug pull token, what'll happen is everyone will hype up the rug pull token. They'll swap their Ethereum for the rug pull token, and over time, the rug pull token will become less and less, and the Ethereum pool will become more and more. And in these cases, most of the liquidity is provided, if not all, by the team. So they have full control on when they pull out their liquidity. So as you're making swaps and everyone is hyping up this token, they're swapping over into the rug pull token, and eventually it'll get to a point where there's really not much rug pull token left, so everybody has converted their Ethereum into rug pull token, and then the team, because they provided the liquidity, can pull all that Ethereum out. And when they do that, there's nothing to trade back into. So these people who swapped for rug pull token, yeah, the price on a chart looks like it's going up, but they can't actually cash out. They can't get out of it because there's no other exchanges that offer this token, and the liquidity provider left. The team, in this case, they took all the Ethereum and ran, and now you're stuck holding a worthless token, and you can't swap back unless someone else provides liquidity. And if they do that, no one's going to provide liquidity, because if they provide liquidity, the same thing's going to happen to them. They're going to end up stuck because everyone's going to swap out, and it's going to have the reverse effect. So they'll be the ones left holding the bag for rug token. So that's kind of why no one ever provides liquidity for rug pools. So this is sort of complicated. If you didn't watch my video on DEXs, I recommend doing that before we get into this, because this is going to kind of build on some of the knowledge that we talked about in that video. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to switch it over to my desktop, and I'm going to go over how to detect a rug pull and things you're going to want to look out for. Alright guys, so here we are on the Uniswap analytics page, which I'll include a link to this website below. And what I did is just chose a token, a random token pairing. So we've got Ape ETH here, and I'm going to show you guys. This is not a rug as far as I know. So I'm not saying that this is a rug. I'm just saying I'm just going to show you guys how to do some research to make sure that it's not a rug. So first off, the first thing you're going to want to do is join the tokens community group. So if they have a Discord, if they have a Telegram, you're going to want to go in those just so you can kind of see what's going on, ask some questions, things like that. That's going to be like one of the first places you start. And this is before you've ever invested any money into this token. So you want to start there, again, so you can ask them some questions. Now, one question you're going to want to ask is, are they running a multi-sig wallet? And all that means is it's just a wallet that can't transact without multiple people's signatures. So that makes sure that not one person is gonna doesn't have the ability to take all the liquidity and run, that it would require multiple signatures, which a lot of times a proper multi-sig wallet should have someone in the community that represents the community that holds one of the this is part of the multi-sig. So again, all that means is it just takes multiple people to verify a transaction and send a transaction, so that not one person has total control over it. So again, that's something you can ask in those groups. Next, once you've determined, everything seems fine in the community group, you'll want to go to the token pairing to see how much liquidity there is. Where you'll see that is under TVL. That's how much money has been provided in liquidity for you to trade with. So Ape ETH has a ton of liquidity. It's got $40 million. So you can do a lot of trading with this token. There's a lot of liquidity available. So nothing out of the ordinary there. Something else you're going to want to check is when you go to TVL, there's a little tab here, and it'll show you a chart. Whoops, not liquidity, TVL. This is the total value locked over time. So you can see this token started at 141K, and it is now up to where it is at 40 million. So that's pretty crazy. It's a steep incline, but as you can see, it's a positive trajectory. The chart is going up over time. If you look at this and you see that it is slowly dwindling, that means liquidity is leaving. And if liquidity is leaving, there's a couple things that could be happening. It could just be natural. Demand for the token is falling and people just don't want to provide liquidity for the token anymore. So if they're not providing liquidity and people over time are pulling their liquidity, you're going to start to see a drop in that. And you have to be careful, because no, that's not technically a rug pull, but yes, it can get to a point where there's no liquidity left for you to trade with, which is essentially a rug pull, but it's almost like a slow bleed. So you need to pay attention to liquidity, make sure that this is at least flat or positive. So again, this is a good sign. And just so you guys know, this actually has a correlation to prices. So as the Ape token gains in value, the total value lot gains in value, right? Because the value of the Ape token is higher. So that's a way that it can kind of push this. So if the token is going up, you might see TVL, or you will see TVL going up, and same with ETH. If ETH is going up in value, you'll see TVL going up. So if the price of these tank and something happens in the crypto space, you'll see a dip in TVL. That's not necessarily people pulling liquidity out. That's just a dip in the prices because the value of the tokens is dropped. Now, the liquidity providers make their money through volume. So the more volume there is, the more fees they generate. And so if volume is falling, which on this token, it's down quite a bit over the last 24 hours, then that means they're going to be making less fees. Now, this is still a large amount of fees for a liquidity pool. So you'll still have liquidity provided, and obviously they have no shortage of liquidity. But like I said, volume is the driver of those fees. So if you go to a page and you see there's almost no volume, there's a higher chance that liquidity providers either A, won't provide to that token, or B, are going to start pulling money out because they're not making money on their money. So anyways, these are sort of the first things you want to look for. When you get outside of this, you can scroll down and it'll show the recent transactions. Now, this is a little bit less important. It's sort of interesting because it's like an order book. You can see what people are swapping for. So as you can see, a lot of people are swapping out of Ape to Ethereum. So a lot of people basically selling is what that means, into Ethereum, and you have a few of the others. So people buying Ape for ETH, $13,000 worth, and you know there's a lot of transactions here. And then this is their wallet, so you can literally see their wallet IDs and all the swaps that are happening. What you'll want to pay attention to as well is adds and removes. So adds is people adding liquidity to the pools. This is what you want to see. The more liquidity that's in there, the easier it is to trade, the more efficient the trades are. And again, you're not worrying about rug pools. You want liquidity to be diversified. If you see one wallet is providing almost all of the liquidity, that's a red flag. Okay, if you go in here and you only see like 2 adds and 99% of it is coming from one wallet, that means that one person has the ability to pull almost all the liquidity out of the pool. You don't want that. If that's the case, you don't want to trade into that token. You want to wait until there are more liquidity providers. All right, so the next tab you're going to want to pay attention to is the Removes tab. Now, the Removes tab is a little bit different because it's showing the same account here, but this is the pool ID, so this isn't necessarily the same person removing this liquidity. This is just like, again, it's the pool's account number. Oh, anyhow, what you do want to pay attention to is the value being removed. In this one, it's had a ton of value removed. Like this is crazy. I don't know if they moved liquidity to a different contract or something like that. But you can see here all the removes, it's pretty insane. What you want to pay attention for in this is the removes relative to what's available still. So you can see, there's still 40.19 million available. And something about this doesn't seem right because these are huge removes, and it says it's only down 5%, but this one remove was for $40 million. Yeah, so that doesn't seem 100% right. I'm thinking that maybe they migrated or did something with the liquidity. So you do have to take what you see here with a grain of salt. This is actually easier on smaller tokens just because there's less there. So you can see, again, the transactions and keep up with them. Now, to take a more in-depth look, what you'll want to do, so if you see someone who's providing liquidity, let's say you see an account on here that provided almost all the liquidity. Okay, so they added liquidity back. It looks like someone pulled liquidity and then just added it back. I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, what you'll want to do is, so in this case, we got this guy who's providing $40 million. Let's see what's going on here. What you can do is you can click his account on the ad, and it'll pull up the address that you clicked. Now, this address has got a lot going on. This takes you to Etherscan, guys. So this is the site that we're on. Etherscan is great when you're doing research and you're just trying to understand. Maybe you've spotted a whale wallet, you want to see what they're invested in, things like that. This is the ledger, so you can literally see every transaction of the wallet you clicked. You can search wallets, you can do all sorts of things. This is like awesome for research, and I'm going to make a whole nother video on how to use Etherscan. But when you click this account number, it's going to pull up Etherscan, and again, it'll pull up the address that you clicked. Now, there's a lot of like junk addresses. There's a lot of people who use multiple addresses. There are token addresses. There's a whole bunch of stuff like that can kind of skew the addresses. So just because you clicked on an address doesn't mean that that's one person. It could be a bot. In this case, it looks like it is a bot. It looks like it front ran somebody. I can't exactly tell what's going on here, and there's a lot of times where you won't be able to understand necessarily what is happening. I'm not a crypto guru in that sense. Like when it comes down to very, very technical pieces, I'm still learning, guys. So for those of you who might know what that is, again, I think it's a front running bot. If I'm wrong, definitely correct me down in the comment section if you know better than I do. But anyways, when you click that address, it'll pull up their account in Etherscan. Again, this looks like a bot address, but what you can also do, you'll click the Ape. This is pulling up strictly information based on Ape, the coin itself, and then you'll go up here, you'll click this little like box with the arrows. That's going to take you to Etherscan. Okay, so when you click that, boom, it's pulling up a contract. Now what you want to do, go to this token box, click the drop down, click ApeCoin. what that's going to do is take you to the actual token address. Okay, so this is the contract address for ApeCoin, and this is going to tell you a lot. So there's a lot that you can do here. And what this is going to show you is there's a lot that you can get out of this. Okay, so the current price that's registered on the blockchain, the fully diluted market cap, that's very important to pay attention to. Max supply, so this is the most ape that can be released. The number of holders, you're going to want to see a large holder amount, okay, because the more holders, typically the more decentralized the holder base is, that means more people are invested in it. If you go to this and there's like 100 holders, well, that means there's 100 people, that's it, that control the price right now, unless more people buy. So that's kind of a scary situation. You're either really early or you're going to get screwed, which 9 times out of 10 you're going to get screwed. So you want to pay attention to the holders, but don't necessarily like worship this number, because what can happen is a team can make multiple wallets. They can buy their tokens through multiple wallets, and it looks like multiple holders, but really it's just one team or one person that owns all those wallets. So that's something else to pay attention to. Next, when you go down to transfers, it'll show you all the transactions that are happening with this token. This kind of gets a little confusing, but you can see, so this is going from willsdestiny.eth to this address. Now this is probably the swap address, and you'll see that here, Uniswap v3, or just a private wallet of his. But again, you can see all those transactions, and the most important tab in my opinion is going to be your holders tab. Now in the holders tab, you can see who holds how much of the token. So this is a pretty well diversified token, meaning that the top holder only holds 1.67%. Now the top holder is usually the team. And if you see that, it's either the team or an exchange. And if you see those, that's okay. You're going to see, usually the team is at the top just because they have tokens that they allocate later for capital and that sort of thing. But if you go to this and you see the team is holding like 99% of the token, that's an issue, because that means they're controlling almost the entire supply, and that's very synonymous with a rug pull. So you want to pay attention to how much the team is holding, and again, you can scroll through here and just see who is holding what. So they might have like some holders that they gave 0.5% to. That's what this looks like, some people they raised capital from. So again, guys, this is really going to be how you're going to research and make sure that you're not getting rug pulled. You want to check all of these things that I've gone over and just make sure that the liquidity that is being provided the pool is, it's plentiful enough. So alright guys, I appreciate you watching this video. Hopefully this video was useful to you, helps you avoid rug pulls in the future, and gives you an idea of what to look for so you can avoid them. Again, if it was useful to you, please like and subscribe, and with that being said, guys, I will see you next time.